With the rise of AI in our time, it is not hard to envision an apocalyptic conflict between humankind and machines. Every company from Google to Meta to ChatGPT is now begging for regulation to cap competition and limit the exploration of a technology that experts can see bringing liberal society to its knees. But the fear of sentient machines far precedes our age and has graced our screens for nearly a century when Fritz Lang first directed the 1927 movie Metropolis. And since then, tens and tens of directors have shed light on the power of technology to frighten us, from Blade Runner and the Terminator to Westworld, Bicentennial Man, and Transcendence. Human beings have exhibited a morbid fascination with how machines might compromise our uniqueness or threaten our lives. But for me, it was The Matrix that most captivated my attention, as it shows the sheer power of technology partnered with intelligence to overwhelm the human capacity for skill or strength or stamina without faith in something greater. And the moment in The Matrix that the head security agent for the machines, Agent Smith, first meets the leading figure of the human resistance, Morpheus, he says something that speaks to his sense of ultimate authority. Turning to his machine colleagues, he gestures to what he sees as a weak, feeble, mortal man and says, "Take him." To take someone is to compel or coerce them. Derived from the Old Norse taka, it means to impose your power on another by force and render them a pawn of your will. The term is used not only by machines, but by magistrates and police, and has led to a string of 3 celebrated movies fronted by Liam Neeson, imaginatively called Taken, Taken 2, and Taken 3, which leads us to a rather perplexing moment in this morning's laning. Having detailed all the duties and responsibilities of the priests weeks ago, God now turns Moshe's attention to the tribe of his birth, to the Levites, and he says, "Kach et haleviim metoch bnei Yisrael." Take the Levites from among the people. And the word kach in Hebrew is no less aggressive than the word take in English. As one of the most famous of the super commentators, the Siftei Chachamim, puts it, Lashon lekicha, the terminology of taking, shayach davka b'davar hachomri o balei chayim, pertains specifically to material objects or animals. We don't take people, we take objects. And this is our question. Why does God speak about the Levites as if they were cattle or inanimate objects? Why does he order Moshe to take them and treat them as chattel or personal assets? Why does God dehumanize this tribe of teachers and sacred gatekeepers and describe them almost as a form of property? And though there are some technical suggestions as to why the Levites might have needed to be physically taken, Rashi, citing our sages, offers a stunning single possibility. For him, God was not commanding Moshe to drag or capture or apprehend the Leviim or to physically take them in any way, but he was telling Moshe, "Kachem bidvarim," take them with words. Here, kach does not mean take, but to sway or persuade with speech. And Rashi even provides the script that Moshe was given to deliver. Ashreichem, you are blessed. Shetizku liyot shemashim lamakom, for you have the merit to serve as God's attendants. For Rashi, God told Moshe that before his tribal brothers took office, they needed a speech to inspire them. They needed their leader to remind them that though their service may be a burden, it was also a chance to exert their influence on the course of history. They needed to be reminded that their responsibilities, though arduous, were also an opportunity to steer the nation toward divinity. They needed to be reminded that their duties, though onerous, were a reflection of nobility, that their office, though heavy, was a privilege that put them in proximity to God. In the words of the Canadian philanthropist and commentator Rabbi David Hofstetter, "Kasher la'adam lekabel achrayut tamidit." It is hard for anyone to accept the onus of unending responsibility. Sometimes people can do the unimaginable in the face of an emergency. Sometimes we can achieve the inconceivable in a time of crisis, but to commit to a perpetual, unrelenting, everlasting, unremitting, lifelong, and ceaseless obligation to lead poses a unique challenge to even the most idealistic soul. So God told Moshe, the man who needed a week to accept his mission to Egypt, to speak to the Levium, to lift their spirits, to take them with words into a whirlwind of hope and enduring devotion. And this, for Rashi, is not the only time in the Bible where words are used to induce devotion in the face of a daunting or intimidating obligation. Later in today's laning, Moshe was commanded to assemble 70 elders and then v'lakachta otam, elo el moed, to take them to the tent of meeting, which Rashi says means kachem bidvarim, take them with words, and say, Ashrechem, you are blessed, as the stewards of the children of Israel. And in a few weeks from now, Moshe will be commanded to reach out to his deputy, to Joshua, and God will tell him, Kach lecha et Joshua ben Nun, take Joshua, which Rashi explains means kachno bidvarim, take him with words. Ashrecha, you are blessed, shezakita lahanhig banav shel makom, you are blessed with the merit to lead the children of heaven. And the same happened weeks ago when Moshe was told to gather the priests, Kach et Aaron vet banav, to take Aaron and his sons, which Rashi there again said meant Kachno bidvarim umshachuhu, take them with words and persuade them. Time and again, words inspire in the face of hesitation and can make a seemingly onerous obligation feel like a gift and a joy. But there are times when words can inspire malice, when speech can lead people to evil, when words can take us to places that no one should be. In the wake of our ancestors' emancipation, when Paro changed his mind, we're told, V'ye'asoret rechvo, he saddled his chariot, Vet amo lakach imo, and he took his people with him, which Rashi again says, Mashacham bidvarim, he took them with words. And in a few weeks' time, as we face one of the greatest crises in our history, a protester leads a rebellion against our supreme prophet, Vayikach Korach. Korach took an assembly, which Rashi explains, Mashach bidvarim, he swayed them with speech. Words can be as powerful as weapons. They can take us to places against our will. They can inspire us to acts of selfless devotion, and they can inspire us to acts of selfish spite. Words can make us lose our senses and take us to places we would never go on our own. Words have an almost limitless ability to shape and sway and persuade us, and in our hands, they are a source of great power. So let us use our words, like Moshe, to take our peers to places of greatness, to stir them, to overcome a reluctance to lead, or spur them to defeat a fear of responsibility. Let our words ring in the ears of those in need of inspiration to grow or go the extra mile, and let us allow ourselves to be taken there too. Shavua Tov.